Alice Davis, Cara, and Elizabeth Liz Dutton face a grave threat while the men are abroad, making Liz doubt her life choices. Spencer Dutton returns to his family after spilling his blood, while his family tries to survive a brutal winter. Marshall Kent and Thomas continue to search for Tiana Rainwater in the first scene of the rapist's winter. Elizabeth confronts the wolf responsible for the slaughter of the coos chickens. The beast attacks her despite her greatest efforts to flee. Upon seeing that Spade is there to aid her, the animal bolts. Despite the impending winter, Cara orders him to retrieve Dr. Miller and Boseman. Sheriff McDowell and Jacob Dutton pay a visit to Judge Roy Garnett, who has presided over the case involving Zane and Alice. Because the court does not want to use public funds to deport the Asian mother and provide for her children, who are citizens of the United States by virtue of their birthplace in Montana, he is prepared to relinquish custody of the children to Jacob. However, Zane and Alice must tell Judge Garnett who the clergyman was who gave their marriage the green light before he will sign the sentence. Afterwards, Jacob and McDowell blackmail the judge by inquiring about his dealings with alcohol, particularly after discovering a bottle on his desk. Garnett apologizes to the Dutton patriarch, his loyal ranch foreman, and his family by signing the custody order so he can avoid arrest. After Zane is beaten while in detention and is unable to walk, they put him on a wagon and set out for the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. The storm picks up steam midway through their trek, briefly cutting them off. Zane and his family are allowed to take cover under Jacob's flipped wagon. Because horses can't endure hours in the middle of a snowstorm without dying, he also lets them go. Donald Whitfield discovers a method to benefit from the snow, while Winter donning the garb of death for the Duttons. The businessman encounters a group of Norwegian men who are skiing on his property. While driving across his property with Banner Croton, he hears from the veterans about the exhilaration of the activity and decides he can sell the thrill of the recreational sport after learning about it. On their quest to find Tiana Rainwater, Father Renault, Marshall Kent, and Thomas travel to Anadarko, Oklahoma, to find the Native American girl they think is hidden among the Comanche. In their quest to locate her, they pay a visit to the marshal's office. There, they encounter Marshal Fawcett, who must remind her visitors that the passage of time has allowed a woman to blend in with the rest of them. Although he does what he sets out to do, the damnable Kent continues to have doubts about Fawcett's competence to carry out their duty. The group travels to the edge of the Comanche territory in search of Tiana. After commissioning her sketch, the Comanche ambush Father Renault and Kent as they engage in a contentious debate on the practice of black men marrying white women in France. Kent and Renault duck for cover in the bushes as Thomas gasps for air after being unexpectedly hit by an arrow. When the Native American fighters come clean, the priest is given a gun by the marshal to use in an assault. A gunfight breaks out shortly after, and the assailants from the tribe are all but wiped out. Kent makes sure that none of the assailants who were after him are still alive, because he simply cannot fathom a time when Native Americans will be allowed citizenship. Back at J Ranch in Texas, we still have Tiana, Pete, and Plenty Clouds, who runs his horse instead of the area belonging to the Comanches. The two lovers tell the latter that they met a cowboy who said it is a ranch. The young man suggests getting the ranch owner to let him live on the property in exchange for helping the cowboy locate strays, and Tiana and Pete are content to remain put. After their shipwreck in Galveston, Texas, Spencer and Luca meet Sal Mao, Luca's successful cousin and owner of the posh Hollywood Dinner Club. The Italian businessman requests that the war veteran and sometimes lion hunter treat Spencer to a hearty dinner after the latter saved the life of his loved one. The American man savors his first pasta and pizza, but he is pressed for time, possibly to alert Cara of his imminent arrival. He hastily composes a telegram and sends it. Once he finishes, he approaches the man and asks for directions to the nearby train station, but the right-hand man of Mao prevents Spencer from departing. It is revealed that the Italian businessman has a connection to the war veteran. After a violent altercation, the first man beats the second so that he can go on his way. Tragically, some of Mao's soldiers track him down and brutally attack him. Spencer reveals to the Italian why he is in such a hurry to get to Montana after the Italian appears before him as a refugee who has lost his home, family, and all of his possessions. Mao understands the lion hunter's desire to return to his family. In the end, he suggests a business transaction that Spencer would also benefit from. Mao has asked Spencer to drive a shipment of whiskey to Fort Worth. If the task is completed, he will be rewarded monetarily to aid him in his battle for the Dutton Ranch. Once the whiskey is delivered, he may arrange for Luca to return by train and use the vehicle to go to Montana quickly to be with his family. As Spencer registers for this clandestine mission, his wife, Alexandra Alex Dutton, is being transported from England to the U.S. on a ship. Reflecting on the possibility of reuniting with her soulmate provides the inspiration she needs to finish the voyage. The Duttons are more in need of Spencer's presence in Montana than ever before. In the midst of the same winter that Jacob Dutton and his people endure, Dr. Miller and a nurse come to the house after Elizabeth suffers a wolf bite. Without Elizabeth's knowledge or consent, the doctor injects her with a vaccine to prevent rabies. She decides to go home the following morning after these terrifying events, as she has had enough of living with Jack Dutton. By nightfall, the wolf that bit Elizabeth has made its way back to the Dutton home, where it appears to have murdered Dr. Miller's nurse. Worried for her safety, Kara spots the beast and shoots it as it lunges at her.